You reach a point where the obvious next step isn't obvious. You've hit a ceiling, and you are looking for a way to break through. Most standard executive coaching is built to address this specific situation. A coach sits down with you, identifies the specific outcome you want, and builds a tactical roadmap to reach it faster. This diagram shows the metrics that standard coaching optimizes for. We're looking at things like scaling your income, moving up the corporate hierarchy, and maximizing daily productivity. But if your life is guided by your Christian faith, isolating those external targets can start to feel hollow. You might reach the financial goal or get the title, only to realize that the achievement on its own leaves your deeper values unaddressed. Pushing for rapid career advancement without examining the motivations underneath it often results in hitting your targets but losing your sense of purpose in the process. That creates friction during a session. Your daily life is anchored by faith, but standard coaching frameworks operate on entirely secular assumptions. You end up having to compartmentalize. Before you can even discuss an important career decision, you have to translate your spiritual beliefs into corporate terminology just to make them fit the exercise. If you aren't careful, you can find yourself adopting growth strategies that conflict with your convictions, prioritizing ruthlessness over grace, or personal accumulation over stewardship. So you face a choice. Do you limit your search to faith-based coaches and worry about sacrificing industry expertise? Or do you stick with standard coaches and act as your own spiritual filter? It is difficult to get the full value out of a coaching relationship when you feel forced to leave your foundational worldview out of the conversation. Let's look objectively at the first option, hiring a standard, secular coach strictly for metric-driven professional growth. The input is clear and the outcome is highly focused. You get rapid optimization. Your coach will hold you accountable to immediate, tactical execution designed to hit your targets fast. The trade-off is the mental overhead you have to carry. Every time a strategy is proposed, you must independently evaluate whether it aligns with your faith. The risk here is blind spots. A strictly secular framework doesn't account for the relational costs or the spiritual implications of aggressive career moves. Treating career advancement like an isolated math problem disconnects your daily work from your internal character and the legacy you want to leave. The alternative is engaging a Christian coaching methodology designed to align your daily business operations with your spiritual convictions. The outcome shifts from pure output to integration. Your underlying motivations, your relational health, and your sense of spiritual calling are brought into your core business strategy. This diagram illustrates how those elements overlap. Bringing career, calling, faith, and relationships into a single focal point requires a specific trade-off. Your external progress might look much slower. A Christian coach modifies your initial goals. They filter your ambitions through the lens of biblical values, forcing you to examine who you are becoming while you pursue success. In practice, this means your coach might advise patience when you want to rush. They might help you set strict boundaries, or even encourage you to turn down a lucrative opportunity if it threatens your marriage. The definition of success shifts away from mere financial accumulation and toward holistic vocational stewardship. Christian coaching requires active execution. Instead of simply reflecting on your beliefs, you are restructuring the metrics you use to calculate your life's return on investment. Finding the right coach presents a unique obstacle. The label Christian is broad, and theological perspectives, traditions, and coaching approaches vary between individuals. There's a concern that by searching only for a Christian coach, you artificially narrow your talent pool, potentially compromising on professional rigor to find someone who shares your worldview. Noomii's SmartMatch technology was developed to address this specific constraint. This visualization shows the scale of the Noomii network. The system pulls from a database of all of 34,000 professional coaches operating across 50 different countries. The algorithm filters that pool based on your specific answers, delivering a curated selection of up to 5 coaches tailored to your requirements. By utilizing a database of this size, you no longer have to choose between professional expertise and worldview alignment. You can look for both. To use this matching service effectively, you first have to define your desired degree of faith integration. This scale maps out different approaches. At level 1, you look for a shared Christian worldview, but don't require prayer or scripture reading. At level 5, scriptural integration, active prayer, and theological alignment are direct components of the relationship. The SmartMatch filter asks you to define these requirements up front. You have to identify what you actually want the sessions to look like before the algorithm can provide a match. The system provides a bespoke fit, but only if you take responsibility for deciding how much faith belongs in the room with you. This tree maps recommendations by primary goal. For strictly technical, industry-specific skill development, a secular coach is best. However, this service is ideal for professionals deciphering a spiritual calling versus a career path, or leaders seeking accountability to guide teams with humility and stewardship. For those profiles, matching with a Christian coach provides a space where your identity and your professional goals can remain intertwined. Ultimately, the coach only provides the framework. The conviction and the action required to move forward remain your responsibility. Professional growth doesn't demand that you abandon your faith at the office door. It requires you to intentionally align your daily actions with the convictions you hold deepest.